Alrighty, now that I've wasted 2 minutes of my laptop battery because I didn't have my microphone set to record, um, there is a tag video going around for top 10 games of all time. I have not actually been tagged yet, but I've been wanting to do a video like this for a while. I just never got around to it. I was gonna make like a production out of it and like capture footage for everything, but eh. Multimaster did say he was going to tag me. His video's not out yet as of my recording, but, whatever. I'm going to twist this a little bit because this is the way I intended to do it anyways, with my own stuff before this tag video came around. But I'm going to do my top 10 non-RPG games, and then I'll do a separate video for top 10 RPGs. So yeah, I got my list on my phone right here, and let's get started. So at number 10 we have Sexy Parodius on Sega Saturn. It's also available on a PSP compilation. What I love about this game is it takes like the hardcore shoot 'em up gameplay of Gradius and then just puts this like goofy, wacky, like pervy coat of paint over it. And it's a great looking 2D game. Of course, it's on the Saturn. Really bright and vibrant colors, really great gameplay. There's a lot of customization options, for the way it plays. Like, you can do like classic old school style where you have to manually select your weapon upgrades, or you can have the game select it for you. So it's really flexible, and then, it's got the usual difficulty settings and everything. Yeah, in addition to Gradius, it's got stuff like Twinbee and Castlevania in there, like little bits of those games scattered around. So, yeah, it's a great game, and I absolutely love it. It's actually my favorite shoot 'em up if we're talking like, normal, like vertical or horizontal shoot 'em ups. There will see some different kind of shooting games on here, but yeah, for a straight shoot 'em up, this is my favorite. At number 9 we have Tomb Raider 2. I've recently been replaying this, and probably about halfway through now. And I was reminded of why I love it so much. It's a really challenging game. There's lots of difficult puzzles to figure out. But I don't know. It's just really relaxing for me. The controls, it's hard for new players to adapt to them because they're like tank controls. Not ideal for 3D games, but it works here. And the game's kind of built on a grid system where if you see a ledge like 3 tiles in front of you at Laura's height, then she can jump to it and grab it. The later games kind of hid that better with the advanced graphical techniques and stuff. I actually don't like that because it made it like way harder to play. But yeah, I like this one the best out of the whole series because, it's got a lot of combat, but it's got a lot of exploration, a lot of puzzle solving. Yeah, it's just really fun and relaxing for me in a weird way. But yeah, that's number 9. So at number 8 we have Rez, and Rez, I mean, it is a game, but I would call it more of an experience. You got this like hypnotic trance music soundtrack going in the background, and as you're shooting stuff, it's like affecting that track. And the visuals are like really simple, like wireframe graphics. They're really simple, but they work. They're gorgeous. And I don't own a PSVR headset or anything, and I don't plan on getting one, but that would be the one game that I'd want to see it on because it is just an amazing experience, and I urge all gamers to try it out someday. I know a while back it was free on PSN, so of course I snatched that up as fast as I could. Yeah, and it's not something that I replay all the time, but it is fun to come back to like once every 2-3 years. Alright, so at number 7 we have the only Genesis game on the list, and that is ToeJam and Earl. And the big thing I love about ToeJam and Earl is I really haven't played anything like it, on a console. And you could say the same thing for Rez. I haven't really played anything like that either. But it's a really unique game. It's got goofy humor and everything, and a nice little hip hop soundtrack or rap soundtrack, because it's the 90s. I don't think hip hop was a thing, was it? I don't know. But yeah, you basically go around these landscapes, and they can be randomly generated or a fixed world depending on what you select. And you have to find the 10 pieces of ToeJam and Earl's ship over 25 levels, and then once you do, you beat the game. And there's like all sorts of like goofy Earthlings that try to stop you from preventing. They try to prevent you from completing your mission to get your ship back together and get the hell out of there. Yeah, and it's just really fun. There's like presents scattered around, you open them up, and maybe you get something cool, maybe you get like something that'll kill you instantly, you never know. And there are ways to identify that. There's like a carrot man that walks around, and you can give him a few dollars and he'll identify packages for you and stuff. But yeah, great game. I love the graphics. Once again, I've not played anything like it. And the sequel is like, just went to like a straight platformer, which, nah. Okay, so at number 6, we have Geometry Wars. Shit. Can't remember the damn title of it. Oh, Geometry Wars Galaxies on the Wii. So I originally played Geometry Wars on Xbox 360. Super excited to get that system, and what I loved about it is they packed like 12 demos on it or something. And Geometry Wars, the original, was on there, and that was one of them. Man, I'm just full of redundancy today. It was on there, and it was one of them. Ooh. Anywho, yeah, and that was just a really great game. Really simple graphics, Geometry Wars, so like the ships, they're all shapes. There's no detail or anything, but it works. There's really bright, vibrant colors. Really, really great twin stick shooting action, where the left stick controls your ship and the direction it's facing and all that, and then the right ship or right stick, controls where your turret fires. And then with the Wii version, it has that original game packed in, but then it has the Galaxies mode, which introduces geoms, which allows you to buy like different drones and stuff and unlock new worlds and all that. And there's just like lots of wacky, crazy levels and stuff, and it gets really, really frantic, really super challenging later on. I did manage to beat it a couple times, and it's very rewarding, and it's one of those games where like you start playing it and then like 5 hours later you're still playing it. Really great soundtrack too. There's a lot of classic games that it uses, and they're just like made more techno-y, I guess. But yeah, Geometry Wars Galaxies is number 6. Wanted to make this a shorter video, but we're going on like 8 minutes already. Number 5, we have EDF 4.1 on PS4. This was technically my introduction to the series. I did get, somebody gave me the 360 version of this game. I could never get it to work on my system though, for some reason. It like needed to download an update, but it wouldn't download it for some reason. So I was happy when I got this game, and it's amazing. It's, as Alex said, it's just mindless fun. Shooting giant insects, and the plot is like totally stupid, but like stupid in a good way. There is like all sorts of neat weapons to use. Like you get like lightning guns and like huge rocket launchers and machine guns and just all sorts of stuff. There's like 4 character classes to play as. My favorite is the wing diver, because you can fly around and stuff. And what's crazy about it is like there's like all these enemies on the screen, and then there's like all these destructible buildings, and it's based in Japan. And there's all these destructible buildings laying around, and it's just a sight to see. Even though the graphics aren't amazing, by any standards, it doesn't matter because the game is so fun. Okay, number 4, we have a Super Nintendo classic, and that is Donkey Kong Country 2. My favorite 2D platforming game of all time, I should say. I really enjoyed the first one. The first one blew me away when it came out. Everything from the graphics to the music to the gameplay. But the second one took that and just perfected it. They added Dixie Kong. You have Diddy and Dixie Kong. You have to save Donkey Kong. And it's just really, really solid platforming. It does get really challenging, especially if you go for the bonus levels, which there are 5 of. But you have to find these, I think it's the DK coins. Or no, it's the Creme coins. So you have to find 15 of those to unlock each one. And those, the challenge is just insane on those. I did manage to beat it back in the day, but I doubt I could do it now. But yeah, as for the main game, it's good. It's got a good level of challenge and what's the term I'm looking for? The difficulty, increases gradually, but it's it's well balanced. My favorite is probably the minecart stage levels, which take place in this amusement park. It's just got a really fun soundtrack, and it's a fun level. But yeah, number 4. Okay, so number 3, we've got our second PlayStation 1 game, and that is Gran Turismo 2. My favorite racing game of all time, favorite racing sim, favorite game in the series. This game took, many others on this list, you'll see a lot of 2s on this list actually. It took what worked in the first game and just enhanced it and perfected it, in my opinion. First game had 180 cars, this one has 600. Lots of new tracks. There are, it's also a nice, easy game to pick up and play. Once you get used to the way the cars handle and everything, because you can just do single races, you win money, and you win a prize car each time, and depending on what prize car you get, you can make a lot of money really quick, which allows you to buy more cars. And, with being 600 in the game, it's nice that you can earn money real quick. The only negative is, it was rushed for the holiday release, but the only negative, in my opinion, is that it has a soundtrack which is pretty good, but the songs repeat on the track. So if you're doing an endurance race, you're gonna hear garbage the entire time, the entire 2-3 hours you're doing that race, or STP or Rob Zombie or whatever. You're gonna hear that one song the entire time. But yeah, it's really great otherwise. I love the customization of the vehicles. All the tracks are really fun. It's nice checking out different cars and seeing how, this car handles differently from this car. And I've put well over 1,000 hours into this game, and I could probably put 1,000 more into it. Alright, next up is yet another second game in the series, and that is Ratchet & Clank Going Commando for PS2. It's also on the Ratchet & Clank collection on PS3, which, looking over there, there's a PlayStation 3 over there. You can't see it. I don't know why I'm looking. But yeah, once again, they took everything that was good in the first game, perfected it. They added strafing, which was just huge, because the first game, you can beat it without strafing. It's hard, but adding strafing just really, really enhances the experience. They also added weapons that gain experience, so your weapons actually level up and become more powerful, have additional effects and stuff. There's mods you can add to the weapons. And instead of having just the measly 8 hit points like Ratchet had in the first game, you can level up. I think you get a total of 80 hit points. But you don't find items. This time you actually just level up and your HP increases. Yeah, and this game has a really good soundtrack. Not as good as the first game, but I really do enjoy the soundtrack quite a bit. I usually replay it like every year and a half, 2 years. It's just a ridiculously fun game to go through. You know, crazy weapons. I probably said like 6,000 times by now. Great humor, probably the best humor in the series. They just nailed it for this game. They nailed everything. All the worlds, you know, they're really cool to look at, really varied. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about it. It's an outstanding game. That's why it's number 2 on my list. And at number 1, we have Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Some people might be considered this cheating because I said this is a non-RPG list, and some people consider this an RPG. I don't. I consider it an action adventure game with you know, RPG elements or whatever, because you can equip new items, you can learn magic spells, you know, you level up and stuff. But, you know, at its heart, it's still an action platformer or whatever. But yeah, this was the first game in the series that was like this. It had, you know, it retained like the creepy atmosphere of the earlier games, or the horror atmosphere. I don't know if I really call it creepy. But, you know, they put it in this like Metroid shell with RPG elements on it, and it just works. Like, it works amazingly well. The soundtrack is amazing. It's a toss-up for me between Castlevania 4 and this soundtrack for which one I like the most. I'd probably go with this one just because it has more songs. But yeah, amazing soundtrack, gorgeous 2D visuals, which hold up really well. I know a lot of PS1 games have not aged well, but this one has. Really, there's like so many weapons you can use, so many ways you can play the game. Like I said, there's spells, there's like... You don't get a whip this time, which is like a Castlevania staple, but you get swords, you get clubs, daggers, great swords, knuckle weapons. I feel like I'm missing some. Yeah, there's like tons of stuff. And then there's like items that, you know, blow up or like shoot arrows and stuff. And then you get familiars that fly around behind you and help you out. And, you know, maybe they'll launch an attack. Maybe they'll heal you. They'll cure you from being petrified. Yeah, it's just amazing. And when you think the game's over, it's not, because shit gets turned upside down. I won't spoil it for the people who haven't played it, but yeah. Well, maybe that was a spoiler. I don't know. Whatever. But yeah, that's my top 10 list. Oh yeah, I'm supposed to tag somebody. Oh, holy shit, this turned out 18 minutes. Oh my god. I'm sorry, I did not mean to do that. Let's see, I'm gonna tag... Who will I tag? Okay, so I know the button mappers have all been tagged. Malta... Terry's been tagged. Let's try, if he hasn't been tagged already, BioPhoenix. I tag you. I choose you. Anyways, yeah, that'll do it for this one. There will be a top 10 RPG video in the future. I don't know when, but it's coming. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.